Hello, fellow wrestling crusaders, and welcome to a special episode. My name's Sean and Waskrug. With me, as always, is Jordan JPO Owens.
That's me.
I waited this time. Sorry it's been so long, but I was dealing with a bad.
Bitch over here.
What's that?
Send this son of a bitch over here getting sick.
Yeah.
How dare you?
I got sick, and I literally had no voice for over a week, so can't really shoot anything. Unless you just want me to hack all over the screen while we're talking, which could still be
the thing is, I was getting attacked, and you jumped off the stage a little bit weird, and you hurt your ankle. So it happens.
No, what happened is I hurt my ankle, and then while I was resting on the guardrail, Macho Man came off and drove my larynx through the guardrail. So I had a broken throat.
And then a snake bit you, but then Earthquake killed that snake. And then that's a long story.
It's been a rough 10 days. It has been. But voice or no voice be damned, we are.
It's Mania week.
Yes, it's WrestleMania week, and we have to get on. We have to talk about this. The build. I was worried about when we first started talking about this. I was like, "There's a lot of time left. I feel like there's too much time. We got to start building," but I haven't really been feeling it. But in these last 3 weeks, they have been doing, at least in my opinion, a fantastic job of building the show. For pretty much, not all, pretty much every match across the board, I feel like they're getting their dues. I feel like they're getting their times, proper times, to really build this show. Now, there's a couple matches, they're thrown together, matches here and there. But how do you feel the builds have been going for these things so far?
No, I'm pretty much in agreement here. I think, the focus on the big matches has really been hammered in home. You know what I mean? The fact that they've had The Rock there every week has helped. He isn't just a dude that showed up once a month. He has been there every week now consistently this last month. So that's helped.
He is having a ball.
Yeah, it's been fun watching
so much fun. And a fun Rock. A fun Rock is the best Rock.
We got music coming back. Yeah.
You can tell when Rock is kind of phoning it in a little bit. Like he's still the Rock, but he's like, eh. And I felt like the very beginning, like when you couldn't tell whether he was going to be, heel or face, his promos were kind of, eh.
I think it was ended, but this is the first time since 2003 he's gotten to be that fucking Rock that we kind of first fell in love with. Like this is like it's wonderful.
I feel like
it's a Rock I never saw I'd see again.
I feel like once they changed his entrance to the fucking badass entrance he has now with all the lightning strikes, it's like not a new Rock, but it was almost like it turned over. And this Rock is fuck the PG era, which yay to all of us here. He is just going out there and he is down. Yes, he repeats himself a lot. A lot of people do. I do. Trust me, you guys watch the show. You guys know I do. But it's The Rock has just been must-watch TV. And the one thing I've been worried about, and I even told my girlfriend this as we were watching, is like, watching this over the last couple weeks, if you were going to tell me that the main event of WrestleMania was Cody versus The Rock, I'd buy that. Because they've been building Rock and Cody more than Cody and Roman. But Cody and Roman have had a year of storyline.
We've seen that build already. This brought a whole new element. It made me care more. You know what I mean? Like I'm more invested than I would have been if it was just simply Cody and Roman trading back and forth. Because we got that last year.
Because we got that last year. All that stuff was really well put together. It was really well pushed up. All we're going to be doing is retreading the same topic. Which, even when they had that that face-to-face, they touched on some of the same points, but they built on it. But it's like, I kind of don't want to watch them talk. I just want to see them fight. But I would watch Rock talk the whole way through, which is smart because they realized that. They're like, okay, we can have Roman and Cody talk, but we've already done that. We can have Heyman talk to Cody. We can have all these renditions, but we did that all last year. How are we going to build this? Let's let Rock go out there and be Rock. And let's just let him do it. We'll have him and Roman do little things here and there, but we need to build that Rock is the actual final boss. And have him and Cody build this up because Cody's got this lingering, I got to get past Rock to get to Roman. And I think that they've been doing this masterfully. The whole jump backstage and the beating the crap out of him. Hell, even continuing to shoot after Raw went off the air and beating the shit out of him.
That was cool.
That was great. Doing all these extra little things that if you're a casual viewer, you probably didn't see this stuff. Hardcore viewers like myself and you, we are seeing this stuff on Instagram. We're seeing the talk show conversations. We're seeing all this stuff, and it's building the atmosphere up for this match. And I hope Rock's always in shape. I hope Rock is in wrestling shape, because I love how they like to go, oh, his last match, he was great. His last match was like 90 seconds long against Eric Rowan. Let's not count that. His last actual match was WrestleMania 29, and didn't he tear his bicep, or his pec?
His last one, real one, Cena again, right? The Cena 2?
Yeah, and he injured himself halfway through the match. It was either his pec or rib or something. He injured himself, and it was rough because I think he was training for Hercules at the time. So he wasn't in wrestling. He was in shape, but he wasn't in wrestling shape, which is for anyone who's never wrestled, that's a different kind of shape. It's a different kind of body method.
I know the first match. I remember him, hearing that he was taking it very seriously. He was training with Kurt Hawkins and Michael McGillicuddy, Curtis Axel on the side. So I would imagine, that's hopefully what he's doing now. I mean, obviously he's made time for SmackDown every week, and even Raw now 2 weeks in a row. And so hopefully he's making time, and he has a ring somewhere, or he's going to a ring, which I think he is.
What I hope is that we're not going to get a 30-minute tag team match, and Rock is only wrestling maybe 7 minutes of it. I would like to see a good chunk of Rock in this match, because once again, Roman's still Roman. You don't want to use Roman for the entire thing. You got to have a good, healthy balance. Now, granted, Rock's probably going to be in there just beating the shit out of him 90% of the time, because Rock's Rock. So he's probably just going to be throwing around Seth and Cody. But he's going to have to take some bumps. He's going to have to do some actual wrestling in this, which Rock's never been a bad wrestler. That's never a worry. I just don't want him to have a WrestleMania 29 moment where he takes a bad bump and his body is not prepared for it and he gets hurt, and then they have to call an audible. But we'll talk more about the tag match when we get to it. But Drew has been killing it on the mic. I thought okay, let me ask you this. I know we're backtracking a little bit, but we haven't been able to talk about it. The CM Punk, Seth, and Drew promo. How'd you feel that went?
This one I'm a little interested in is exactly where this is going, because
I'm not talking about the match. I'm talking about the 3-way promo they had on Raw a couple weeks back.
It was good, yeah. I guess I was just jumping ahead to where exactly where it's going to lead to, but no, I mean, promo wise, again, I think everyone's on point. Like you said, Drew, I think has done a really good job of making me again care, because that was my one problem with Drew winning, or Drew going for the titles, that we've seen it. But Drew's been so good recently, having fun.
He's once again just like Rock. He's flipped it. He's flipped it, and he's turned something new.
He's made me care more in a way than I thought I necessarily would.
Yeah. I honestly think Punk. It didn't work for me that well. I thought Punk kind of came off kind of like when a legend comes back and they're trying to still feel relevant. He came out there, he tried to do all the greatest hits. He made us pass at The Rock. Dude, Rock beat you last time you guys wrestled. So why are you calling Rock out? You can't outpunch God. No, but he can take your fucking title away from you when you're Mr.
That was even I remember being I liked the attempt to dig at him, but he won the fight.
Yes, he beat you last time. So why are you? He's not talking about me. Why does The Rock have to talk about you? He don't need to talk about you. He took the title from you. What was the point of that? Call out somebody else. Don't call out Roman. Or he did call out Roman. But don't point at The Rock. The Rock beat your ass. But it was once Cody and once Drew got into it, I felt like Punk started to fall behind. He kept interrupting them. And I get that they were trying to make it feel more real, but it just made Punk look.
That's why I was jumping ahead to what they're gonna do, because I just and I love Punk to death. I really do. I got to do his first ECW figure over here, but I almost feel like they're trying to shoehorn him in. I kind of
they're absolutely trying to
save him for Backlash or SummerSlam whenever he's healthy. Let's focus on Seth and Drew. Seth's got enough shit going on.
Yeah, we already know Punk's gonna get a title shot immediately when he comes back. They've built that. If anything, that's what they were building. Is that whenever Punk comes back, whoever's champion, That's going to be their first feud.
They both got a problem with them, exactly.
Exactly.
Which I'm down for, and it's cool.
Because if he only showed he had a problem with Drew, then you're pretty much tipping the hat. Drew's winning the belt. By keeping it balanced between him and Seth, mainly it's more towards Drew because Drew's the one that's been actually poking at him. But if you kept it balanced, it leaves the element of who's going to win the belt, Seth or Drew. Now, granted, Seth could still enter or leave WrestleMania the champion, and then they could have WrestleMania Backlash, and Drew can win it there. But regardless, CM Punk's getting the first feud back for the title for whoever's champ, because one of them is going to be champ by the time Punk's back. I don't see anyone taking the belt off of either one of them in that time span. But yeah, Punk, I don't think Punk came off as great as everyone thinks he was that night. Everyone's like, oh, that was great. It's like, was he?
He has good delivery. Like, he sells it like he believes it, which is why I think a lot of people would normally go for it. Normally, I would too. I just kind of feel like, I don't know.
It was more what he was saying. It was what he was saying that wasn't landing for me.
Look into it, right?
Yeah, it was just he was coming off petty and like someone who was falling behind, so he was trying to dig, and Seth and Drew just weren't really having it. Drew quoting Eminem's "Stand" though, fucking loved. I fucking loved that so much. That was like a hell yes. I love the whole thing about it. But let's go ahead and get into the actual card. Now, there's 13 matches on this card. I'm going to go ahead and say we have a 14th match because what's WrestleMania now without the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, which is airing tomorrow on SmackDown.
Yeah.
It's going to be on SmackDown. So, to me, that's the quote-unquote 14th match of the show. It's bullshit that the women aren't getting one, but I think it's because they don't want to call it the
They started that.
They did. They did it for like a year or two, but they haven't announced anything, which means Stratton's not going to be on Mania. Piper Niven, Chelsea Green.
Plenty. Yeah, Green's got nothing. Yeah, no, there's plenty of
girls. They really should announce that the women are getting a battle royal. But as of right now, which granted, the way we shoot our shows, they could very well announce it right now while we're shooting it because they love fucking doing that when we're shooting the show.
And we do have a whole SmackDown to go, yeah.
Exactly. Because I think the only things they've announced for SmackDown is the battle royal, and then I think Zelina Vega and Elektra Lopez are supposed to wrestle. That's the only things I've heard.
Like, I think there's a couple more matches, but they're not like rule changing matches. Like,
most of the cards in the battle royal. So
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's nothing crazy that will happen on SmackDown. And usually those SmackDowns in general, match wise, are pretty light. If you look at like Mania,
no, it's mostly last second talking, which I think
second talk. It's a couple matches just because you gotta have matches. Yeah,
I mean, honestly, with the card, the only thing they really have to, I guess, drive home would be the damage control matches and Logan, Kevin, and Randy, because everything else is very much Raw, which they did on Raw. They built everything there. So, based off the lineup, because have you seen the lineup for the Battle Royal yet?
I believe so. Yeah, unless it changed, but I did a couple days ago.
No, since what they dropped on Friday, which also is weird because two of the competitors in the Battle Royal are wrestling in a tag team match on SmackDown. So they're pretty deadly. My Yes Boys, who I love, are apparently doing double duty.
I wish they were in the ladder match, but there's only some.
I wish they were in the ladder match too. I would have much rather had Waller and Theory in the Battle Royal because I want Pretty Deadly in the ladder match.
Yeah, I get it, just because I feel like maybe they've been on the roster longer, like as far as like a booking wise, but like as far as who's in my heart more and who I think is hotter right now is Pretty Deadly. Yeah,
I 1,000% agree. But I know they're booked to wrestle Owens and Randy tomorrow night. Now, granted, if they're gonna book it for Mania, they're gonna have to beat them because you got to get some division going between Randy and Owens, so that way it doesn't feel like a handicap match going into Mania. So hopefully they get that win, and then they're gonna go into the Battle Royal. But based off of the lineup of the Battle Royal, who's your prediction to win?
From what I remember on the list here, there's really only like 2 to 3 names that make sense to me. The one that makes the most sense to me is probably the guy that just returned, Andrade, is the one that sticks out to me. Give him a nice big win. these wins don't necessarily lead to much. Don't forget Riddick Moss is a former winner. Matt Hardy, went on to not really do
it. Should matter more. It should matter more, but it doesn't.
Sometimes it kind of does. Kind of help set up the Cesaro, kind of, sort of. You know what I mean? So,
Jay won, and I completely forgot about it.
He's a former winner. They mentioned a few of them on SmackDown. Actually, they actually name dropped. I want to say Matt Hardy. I think someone else. Oh, and they mentioned Cesaro. So I was like, oh, that's kind of cool that they mentioned two.
They don't worry about name dropping anymore.
They don't. They don't.
And that's because of Triple H. He's like, look,
it's still my old
part of the history.
It's my old mindset of like they named two AEW people. You know what I mean? It's still surprising.
Triple H is like, who cares? They were here. Like, just acknowledge it.
But yeah, I mean, outside of him, remember Shinsuke still got to me. I was like, oh, that could be a cool Shinsuke win, and maybe one other.
There's 5 names.
Was Bronson in that?
Yeah, you got Andrade. Maybe him. You got Andrade, Ricochet, Gable, Bronson.
Oh, and Ricochet, because they kind of hyped him again on Raw. But my official answer is Andrade, with maybe Bronson kind of in second, and then Shinsuke in third for me.
I feel like, much like, and Omos is in the match too. I feel like, once again, they'll all team up on Bronson. They'll all team up on Omos.
Get Omos first. Get the fuck out.
They're obviously pushing Ricochet hard lately.
I almost bought an Omos action figure because I was buying a couple action figures on sale. It was like $3, and I was like, still, I'll take it out. I don't want it.
I would be interested in Omos's figure if his figure was actually taller than the other figures.
They're usually decently in scale, so I think it should be. They're usually good.
Well, that'd be worth it. I wouldn't be mad at it. I feel like Andrade and Ricochet are going to cancel each other out because of the Judgment Day storyline with JD in the match as well. I'm gonna go towards Gable. Give Gable the win.
Oh, wait, can I cheer him out? I forgot about Gable.
Yeah, and if you look at how they have the placement, Gable is dead center. Gable was in the center front row. I mean, clearly, like those 5 are in the front row, and then like everyone else is like behind them. So it's gonna be between those 5. But I'm gonna go with Gable.
I'm not even joking. If I can, I'll change it to Gable because he obviously still been promoting him on Raw. He almost beat Sami. He's been now the coach of Sami. So I think he is the one that could get the most from the win here, and he deserves it.
I wouldn't be upset with any of the 5 winning because those are the 5 that make logical sense. I mean, an outside chance you have Ivar because he's in the match, but outside of that, everyone else
I feel like I'm glad Ivar's been given something, but I still feel like they're kind of just buying time for Eric to get better. You know what I mean?
Well, Eric had neck surgery. He's going to be out for a little bit, but I
still don't see Ivar getting and he's been a good. I saw him and AJ Styles in Ring of Honor have a 1-on-1 match live. That was great. Like he's a good competitor, singles or tag. I just don't know they still obviously. He's still kind of been a B player so far as booking.
Yeah, I mean, he's
big guy wrestling. Bronson, I think would.
He's wrestling some of the top guys on the roster, and he's putting on really good matches. Because I mean, more times than not, when it's a team like that, they just set them aside. Like, oh, you're injured too. No, he's not. Exactly. But I mean, he's actually gone out there and has actually made himself a name. Yeah. So good for him. But yeah, it's a 5-person race there. I'm okay with any of them winning, but naturally, I want Gable to get the win. Going to the actual Mania card, let's go to night 1 here, which has the most matches, mainly because night 2's matches are all going to be like long. Let's go with the first main event match, Becky and Rhea. I agree. They haven't really been pushing this one that hard because Becky had to get through Nia and all this stuff. Another one who's not getting the Mania match. But obviously the last 2 weeks they've been pushing it. I'm hoping Rhea's wrist is more precautionary because I haven't really heard anything injury-wise about her wrist other than that she's had it braced up for the past couple of weeks. I'm hoping it's just precaution. But how do you feel this match is going to go?
And also just as backtrack to the second real quick. Yeah, kind of interesting. Nyla Rose. Nia Jax. Main eventing Chamber and not on Mania. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Shows you how limited spots are, and especially for the women. I'm probably going with Mommy here. I think it's a good way to just kind of set her up. I think we're also going to Also, kind of jumping ahead with the logic of, like, I think we're kind of setting up for some title changes. This is the one title I think we'll kind of retain for sure. And yeah, I think Mom's gonna get a nice big win on Rhea, or Rhea's gonna get the big win on Becky and keep it going.
Yeah, I was asked about where I thought this match was going to go and who I thought was going to win. And it's like, yes, Becky's Becky, but who needs this win more? And the answer is Rhea needs this win more because she hasn't done much in the year that she has had the belt, and that's because she's been around with Judgment Day. Now, they started to whenever they start to build her up, she just dominates everybody. Now, granted, Raquel is dealing with injuries. I'm sure that feud was supposed to go way longer and way bigger than what it did, but she had her issues there, and they were obviously holding Becky off till Mania. We all knew that. We all knew that they were keeping them away from each other and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, Becky's kind of ran through the division, but there hasn't been, outside of Nia, there really hasn't been a memorable feud for Rhea. It's been a very quiet 1 year reign because she's been the leader of Judgment Day. And Becky's been going through Trish, Zoe, Nia, all these women. So in terms of story, it looks like Becky will win, but Rhea needs this big staple win.
100% agree. This will help solidify her, because I think she kind of needs it. Like you said, I think unfortunately because she hasn't had like the biggest of feuds and the biggest of matches, like Selena Vega was just because they were in Puerto Rico. Like, no offense. The way she's booked, not a knock on Selena, just the way the WWE booked her. And you know what I mean? There's really no one thought she was going to win. No one really figured,
the main problem is with Rhea is all of, outside of Becky and Nia, all of her real big challenges, they're all on SmackDown. Charlotte, Bianca, Jade, Asuka, Bayley, Iyo, they're all over there. They all really need to be on Raw. But, I mean...
mix up a little bit more,
Because the bottom line is, if Becky wins, okay. But what's that win really going to mean? Is that win really going to matter outside of just giving Becky the belt again? No. Rhea, though, running through Becky, I don't want her to dominate her, but winning and showing her dominance.
I expect this to be a really good title 15, 20 something minute match.
Oh, yeah. No, it's going to be competitive. I'm hoping and I'm banking on them to be just as strong, if not better, than Rhea and Charlotte last year, which to me, outside of the IC three-way last year, was the match of the weekend.
I'll go ahead and say, on paper, match quality, this could be the match of the weekend. For the WWE. I think this will be, because I think Cody and Roman's going to be more of a story match. I think Drew and Seth will be cool, but we've seen it before, and I also don't know if they've ever had like a 5-star match. This could be match of the week. Could be wrong, but I think it could definitely be.
It has all the makings to be, in terms of entertainment and everything like that. So you're going Rhea.
Yeah, and I'm going with Rhea. Pretty much everything you said. I think she could use it more. If Becky got it again, like you said, cool. She gives her another reign.
Well, because that's the thing is, outside of this, let's say Becky wins. Obviously, Rhea gets a rematch. She's been champion for a year. She's going to get a rematch. Yeah. Let's say she keeps the belt again. Where do they go with the belt from here? Who is Becky going to challenge? Are you going to bring someone up from NXT? Are you going to move someone from SmackDown over? Where's the big money feud for Becky at this point? There isn't one. Now, Rhea main thing would probably be Liv Morgan. As much as I don't like Liv Morgan, that's a feud that has not.
That's definitely been a post-Mania feud. That's already been kind of set up,
Exactly. So that would be the next big feud, and then by the time that feud ends, we're at the draft, and then they'll bring some of the SmackDown girls or NXT girls over, and then Rhea will have a new slew of women they'll go after. So we're both on Rhea on that one.
You could put Bayley on Raw if she doesn't win. Yeah, there's lots of things we could do,
Sticking with the women, this match, not the match I would have booked. I think you could have gotten 2 matches out of this. But here we are. We got a 6-woman tag. We've got Jade Cargill in her first match with Naomi and Bianca against Asuka, Kairi Sane, and Dakota Kai. Like I said, I think we probably could have gotten 2 matches out of this instead of just one.
Well, what's your suggestion? I want to hear your suggestion because I don't know if I agree.
I would have kept Dakota out of Damage Control, and I probably would have had her probably get lumped with Naomi, and probably go against Asuka and Kairi, because the big money match is Bianca against Jade. They could, because or you have Bianca or you do Bianca and Tiffany, because they've been teasing that stuff in the back. You know, Tiffany keeps coming up talking shit to Naomi. Bianca looks like something. Jade, you can have her and Naomi team up and go against Kairi and Asuka for the tag titles.
I like what we got, because I think.
But we haven't been. But that's the problem. We haven't been building towards it. Jade is just thrown in there. This is basically going to be a showcase match for Jade.
Yeah, now, as it should be.
It should be, but you don't want to. At the same time, you don't want to shit over Damage Control. They've been running the women's division the whole time. You don't want Jade to come in and just bulldoze over, because what's that say?
They've kind of shot on this group since day one, man. This group has never been built very high, other than like they got the titles now, which is nice. But before that, like they lost a lot at the beginning.
I mean, they took out Bianca.
Competitive match.
Bianca was bulletproof, but they took out Bianca.
As long as it's a competitive match, I'm okay with it. Because, like I said, I think you got to kind of test Jade. I think putting her in a tag title match, then you're giving her the tag titles. Putting her in a singles match, I don't know yet. Like, this is a great introductory.
But see, do we want Damage Control to completely lose the whole weekend? Because Bayley and Iyo, who knows?
I don't know.
I think we could go one of which ways, but it's a non-title match, so obviously it makes it a little more in favor for the girls to lose. But I mean, Dakota just came back, so we need to get Dakota established. I don't want Dakota going out there and getting murdered, because she just got back. Asuka was hurt, but she seemed like she's moving fine now, so I think she's fine. It might have just been a tweak. And Kairi's Kairi. I know I say that, it makes it sound like she's not important. She is. Kairi's great. What I don't know if I want that in this match, but I almost want a heel turn between one of the three girls, between Jade, Naomi, and Bianca. I would love a turn. Jade to me it never screams face to me.
Even now she doesn't. Oh yeah,
heel aspect. Bianca has heel ability, and Naomi, they won't turn her heel because of the whole glow thing. They're not going to take that. They're not going to have a heel have the glow thing. So you're not going to lose. You're not going to have Naomi, but Bianca and Jade, one of them becoming heel, which makes logical sense. Now, once again, Bianca, merch-wise, you're probably not going to turn her face. You're probably not going to turn her heel. So outside of just it's an ego thing between Jade and Bianca, you could have that be a thing where they just can't get past their egos, and that causes Damage Control to win the match. So that way you can build towards a Bianca Jade feud, and Naomi's just kind of like the peacemaker, which she's been basically between Bayley and Bianca over the last few weeks. But yeah, I feel like even though it's Jade's coming out party, I feel like I don't want Jade going in and fucking squashing Damage Control. I don't. This one I have a hard time deciding. Under normal circumstances, yeah, Jade is going to dominate and win. But I feel like it would be better storyline purposes if Jade or Bianca's ego gets too much between the two of them, and one of them, they can't coincide, and Jade walks off or Bianca walks off, and Damage Control basically take out Naomi and win the match. That way, Damage Control has the power flow going into night 2, which makes it feel more like Bayley's on her own. That's how I would book it. But they're not going to book it that way because it's Jade, and they want Jade to come out looking like $1 billion. But you seem pretty confident that it's a showcase for Jade, and they're just going to steamroll through Damage Control.
I wanted to use the word steamroll squash, but yeah, I am definitely set on. And I wouldn't mind being proven wrong and actually them booking it the way you booked it. I'm kind of down for that. But yeah. I am thinking this is very simply put. They're going to Damage Control can lose. It's not for the titles. Jade, this is her first showing. Jade's going to win. Jade will probably even get the pinfall. She probably won't even be in. Kind of like we said before, like with The Rock. I bet you Jade's not even in the match that much. And then it's probably a 6 to 10 minute match. Jade gets the win, pin on probably Dakota. And there you go.
I mean, Jade
the storyline stuff will
roll through Damage Control on SmackDown single-handedly.
Yeah. And I think we're about to see that again.
You could still get both outcomes out of this. Jade could still dominate damage control and win the match. And you can have a post-match angle where Bianca and Jade, maybe Jade dominates and Bianca tags herself in and takes a pin, or vice versa. Bianca's like, oh no, you are new here. This is my show.
I don't think they're going to do that to Jade in her first match. I think that is very feasible for a SmackDown or a Backlash. I think the storyline stuff will be saved and it might be teased, but I don't think we're going to get like a big moment here. I don't.
I agree. I wish there was a little more to it. And that's just me trying to give the women just a little more than just a throwaway 6-woman tag.
I don't think it's a throwaway. I think unfortunately there's winners and losers in wrestling. That's just the way it is. And unfortunately, this is the moment to, one, reestablish Naomi, two, give Naomi a nice win, and set up Jade. You know what I mean? And I think that's the focus.
It's a throwaway because they're like, oh, we have Jade. Let's just throw her in this match.
Let's find a good way to, kind of like Big E's first match. Big E's first match was a tag. This is
I would almost, and granted, the match probably wouldn't be good. I would almost rather have it be Bianca and Naomi for the tag belts against Asuka and Kairi. Jade not booked. And Nia comes out, and Nia's like, every woman's too scared of me to wrestle WrestleMania. So I'm coming out here. I'm demanding a match. Who out there is big enough to take me on? And Jade comes out. And Jade and Nia have a quick 5-6 minute match. Jade gets established. I don't want to squash
Nia Jax, though. That's a semi squash. If you're saying 5 and below, that's a glorified squash.
Because Nia's Nia. Nia's Nia. Let's be real.
You said it yourself. This match probably won't be great. So save that for another.
Exactly. Which is why you give it a 5-6 minute cut, so that way it doesn't go too long. It doesn't go too far. And then you can still have Naomi and Bianca go against Damage Control for the tag title, so that way a title's defended at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I am upset that.
And then you can still give Naomi that big win, because right now,
I wonder if Naomi's like, hey, remember how you were ignoring the tag titles when I left? Well, now that I'm back, why are we ignoring the tag titles?
Exactly, because I'm sorry, her winning this match, unless she gets the pin, this isn't a big win for Naomi. This is a big win for Bianca or Jade.
It's something. It's something. It's better than Naomi not being on the card at all, because it could be more with the tag titles, yes. But then, unfortunately, there's only so many spots, and they found a way to kill two birds with one stone.
But here's the thing: there's so many spots, but they're still going to find ways to waste 45 minutes of the show with the Hall of Fame stuff. And
that's their fault. Yeah, and I'm sure we might get I'm still thinking because it's 40, WrestleMania 40, they were getting a Rock, Cena, Shawn Michaels bullshit segment, maybe Triple H. You know what I mean?
Hogan.
Hogan, another one. There.
Yeah, but I mean
that's WrestleMania 40. We're probably gonna get some sort of shenanigans.
That's my wishful. What's that?
I'm trying to think of who's a heel that can get beat up easily.
I mean, if they weren't booked in the ladder match, it'd be Theory and Waller.
It would be Theory and Waller.
It'd be Theory and Waller, or it'd be Pretty Deadly. It'd be one of those four, because that makes the most
sense. Deadly. Maybe
Or
Pretty Deadly comes out. They get the win on Orton and Kevin. They're like, we should be on here, and then
exactly, you can do something like that. But yeah, wishful thinking on the 6-woman tag. To me, it's the least. It's the least I'm excited for this whole weekend. Actually, no, scratch that. It's the second least excited. Going into my least excited match of the weekend. That's, once again, it's the booking decision behind this, not because of the people in it. It's how they're booking this. We've got Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio against Santos and Dominic. Why don't we just have this be a massive LWO against Legado Fantasma Puerto Rican street fight or Philadelphia street fight, which is what they're doing on night 2 with Final Testament and Street Profits. You can have 2 big man street fights on a show. It's fine. Yes, you can. What? Okay.
Well, I'm only shaking my head no, because have the Luchas just have a great 6-man tag. I don't think you need to make a no DQ.
No,
have a great Lucha match.
No, I'm not. That wouldn't be a 6-man tag. It'd be like a 5. It'd be a 10-person tag. You get LW. You get Zelina. You get
Oh, you're throwing the chick in there? Okay.
Yes. Are they not a part of it?
I know, but then you're doing a mixed tag. But all right, yeah, I guess if you're
that's why you make it a brawl. That's why you make it a brawl, so that way Zelina and Alexa can go. Because it's either that or you have them stand ringside and just go. Well, I'm trying to get these people booked.
I like that's cool, but like again, I'm just going with strengths here. One, I don't agree that you would have two straight fights because what they're going to do on Saturday would probably be very close to what they're going to do on Sunday, and that just kind of blends in. Two, Ray and like
they're two totally different styles.
Ray, Carlito, Dragon Lee, and then on the other side, Santos, all those guys. Their strengths are wrestling. I want to see them wrestle. Let's have them wrestle. Is what I'm saying. You can have them
wrestle. Just make it. You can make it Lucha Rules then. Make it a Lucha
Rules. Yeah, Lucha Rules, but not no DQ.
Well, I mean, Lucha Rules meaning that you have them all going at it. As soon as one goes out of the ring, they can come right back in. That's what I mean by that. Which WWE's never. The problem is that WWE's never had a Lucha Rules match. That's AEW doing that in other companies. Yeah. So WWE would call it a street fight. That's what WWE would call it.
Well, but, no, they could come up with a different name. They wouldn't call it a street fight because that would make you think they're going to use weapons.
I mean, call it a different name. I'm fine with it. But I think if you're because this tag match doesn't solidify the end of this feud. WrestleMania should be signifying the end of the feud.
No, and it's very random that they kind of shoehorn Dominic in at the very last second.
Well, because my initial game plan for this was that you had Ray, Dragon Lee, the other two. I'm sorry, they don't. They escape me every time. The other
Joaquin
two,
Wilde and Cruz del Toro.
Thank you. And then you have Zelina, and then you've got Santos.
No, Carlito.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot about Carlito. Well, then you can take the women out at that point, because you got Ray, Dragon Lee, because Dragon Lee's the outlier. I always forget about Dragon Lee being a part of the group, which he wasn't.
Yeah, he wasn't. He wasn't
initially. Initially, it was Ray, Carlito, the two guys, and Zelina against Santos, the other two, Alexa, and then it was going to be Andrade. I said Alexa. I said Electra.
I said Alexa.
I said the other two guys, Humberto and the other one. Thank you. And then the other one was either going to be Andrade, or you can do Dom because Dom's not doing it.
Yeah, that would make more sense. If it was like an 8-man tag or a 10-man tag, rather, that would make more sense to go, we need one more competitor who hates Ray as much as I do. Oh.
Which I actually loved what they did with Dom on SmackDown, him showing up and costing that match, because that's a total Dom douche thing to do. It works. I even liked on Raw when he had them come in to the locker room and like they're like, what? Why are they in here? Like I enjoyed all that. And because like that's only Andrade if they were bringing him in a mat and naturally having him go right after Ray, but they're not. They're keeping Andrade kind of in this middle ground. You don't know where he's going to go. So yeah, you can have Dom, but why not? This feud has been a blood feud for everyone a part of this. Why not have them all? Just let them all go. Don't throw Dragon Lee into this and then just make this a random tag. Plus, with it being all split up, it takes less stress on Ray, who's just coming back from a knee injury. You can have Dom in there to take a lot of the bumps. Santos, Dragon, or Carlito. It allows everyone to get their shit in, and it allows them to tell a quick 10 to 15-minute story between these guys and finally kind of push past this LWO Legado Fantasma thing and move Santos on to maybe the U.S. title or something else. Gives maybe the LWO and the Legado Fantasma maybe pushing towards the tag team titles, which we're going to touch on that. I just feel like this booking this random tag, I feel like this, once again, just like the 6 women, it's a thrown together tag match that could have been done more. You guys love throwing as many people as you can into WrestleMania, but now when it comes time to actually throw people in, now you want to be stingy with it? That's the thing. That's the thing that bugs me about this. Either way, though,
I agree. I would have preferred the faction match. I do.
The match itself is going to be great. These 4 guys are fantastic.
Yeah, on paper,
I don't think they're going to get the time that like AEW would give them.
No, but and that's always the problem on Raw and SmackDown. That's why I always say, if you're buying a ticket, if your ticket spent at Dynamite's better than Raw or SmackDown. But yeah. Now, who do you have going over for this match, though? I'm just going to
feel good, or do you have the story driven?
I'm going with the simple logic of Dominic and Santos, just because I feel like you got to even up Dominic and Ray's thing now.
I agree.
If Ray trumps him 2 times in a row, where does that lead? Yeah.
I think best way to push this, or best way to book this for what we're getting here, don't let Dragon Lee take the fall. You need to push Dragon Lee. Don't have him take the pin. Have Ray
take
the
pin. Have Dominic straight up pin. Yeah, right.
Have Dom straight up pin Ray.
And if you do see interference, I could also see Carlito turning.
Because there was that slight little look that like when they were talking, Carlito was just like this. Now you could just chalk that up to Carlito just kind of trying to do something.
It could be that, or them purposely teasing a fake thing. But I'm just saying, he strikes me as a guy that they could easily turn heel and join Santos at any minute. So, and a good way to get them to lose, because Ray and Dragon Lee actually on paper could be a freaking sweet tag team. But if you want them to lose, have the bad guy cheat. That's what I'm always.
I think Ray and Dragon Lee winning is not going to help. I think Santos needs the W. Dom, if they are going to lose, Dom has to take the pin. Santos cannot take the pin. Santos has to look strong in this because Santos has been fantastic in this. So he either needs to get the pin or he needs to not take the loss. And Dragon Lee is the same way. Dragon Lee either needs to take the pin or Dragon Lee needs to not take the pin in this match because Dom's an invite. You can't have Dom take the pin because Dom's not a part of this feud. He's just thrown into it. Dom is an interference out of this. You need Santos needs to get this win under his belt to push the whole Ray aspect of this. But yeah, I think in terms of storyline points, Dom and Santos need to win this match. You can then have a blow-off match at Backlash. Are they going back to Puerto Rico for that or no?
No, I feel like that would have been announced already, right?
I just can't remember. They always are announcing going different places. Or is this the one where they're in Canada? Or no, is this the one they're in Paris? Is it Paris? I know they're going to Paris. I don't know. But I feel like, yeah, I think you and I so far we, for the most part, been mostly in agreement for who's supposed to win or who we think should win these matches. Anything else you want to touch on the tag match?
No, I think we kind of touched what we kind of thought was going into it. Yeah, agreed on what could have been and agreed on what the kind of end result will be.
Gotcha. Staying with tag team, we've got, of course, the 12-man tag team ladder match for the tag belts. I love the new stipulation they added. I hope to God it's not a giant tease and that both teams, that one team doesn't pull down the belts. Please split these belts up. It doesn't work with one tag team, especially when they're barely going over to both sides. Split these things up, please. And I'm booking it as two teams are winning this match. Please, God, let that happen. Where are your thoughts on this ladder match?
So yeah, just quick small side note. Yeah, it is. Yeah, you were right. The Backlash is in France this year, so
okay,
different huge. Different state or country there rather. So let me look up the teams again because I
got them right here. I got Awesome Truth, Judgment Day, New Day, Waller in Theory, New Catch Republic, and DIY.
Okay, all right, I wish I kind of want to hear yours on this because, yeah, so originally when we were kind of building up, I just thought it was going to very simply be R-Truth getting his nice little moment on the Judgment Day and winning his SAG titles. Now that they are kind of hinting that maybe this is where we split them off, which I'm all for because what we've said before, SmackDown has a lot of teams that are just kind of not doing much 9 times out of 10 because, there's no titles over there. And there's enough teams where you could definitely have a Raw and SmackDown again. I'm leaning towards, I don't know if you would double face it out. DIY, Truth.
The problem is the only heels in the match are Waller, Theory, and Judgment Day.
Yeah. And I feel like now's kind of the time to get it off Judgment Day. I could see them retaining one of them. But yeah, I'm going to go with just a feel-good moment of like D-Generation X, Triple H and Shawn, a.k.a. Ciampa and Gargano, and R-Truth and Miz. That's although I'm very kind of open to anything. What do you think? I want to hear what you think on this one because I don't really know. That's where I'm.
There are 3 teams I don't want to win, and there are 3 teams I do want to win. Granted, I know one of the 3 teams I don't want to win is probably going to win. I don't want Awesome Truth to win. If really? R-Truth, let's put it this way. If Judgment Day, this is why I didn't want Judgment Day to be the tag champs, because I just wanted them to have their own little thing off to the side. Because I don't want Awesome Truth as tag champs. I don't want Miz with a title. And R-Truth, if they win it,
I don't think it'll be long.
Exactly, that's the whole point. That's the whole point. I don't want them winning it and then dropping it to Judgment Day on Raw next time.
Win. Well, I hope it's not Raw the next time, but I think you could do a nice thank you to R-Truth.
You know
right?
what? You know what? You want a thank you win? How about fucking New Day, who has never won at WrestleMania?
Really? Okay.
They've never won. Xavier won when he won the title against Bryan. Xavier has never won. Big E has never won at Mania. And obviously, Big E's not in the match, but New Day has never won at a WrestleMania. Granted, neither has R-Truth. So it's they cancel each other out.
And I would imagine R-Truth probably more on the way out than New Day. But New Day winning would be a nice kind of left field because again they've been kind of whatever for the last year or two. Yeah. So it'd be a nice kind of side.
What I would, if I was, let's put it this way: who I think will win and who I want to win are two different things. Who I want to win would be DIY and the New Day, and then the New Day move to SmackDown. And they feud all the SmackDown people, or DIY goes to SmackDown. But with Candice being on Raw, I don't see DIY going anywhere. So New Day would win the SmackDown belts. They would go to SmackDown. DIY wins the Raw belts. They stay on Raw. I don't see that happening. I would love it if New Catch Republic won. I don't see that happening. What's probably going to happen, which is going to annoy me, but it's whatever. Awesome Truth is probably going to win the fucking Raw tag belts. And Waller and Theory are probably going to win the SmackDown belts because it's Waller and Theory. And let's give them tag belts so they have something to gloat about on SmackDown and give them what it is. Perfect world for me. DIY wins because they're the team that deserves to win a belt out of this match. And then I would give it to New Day or New Catch Republic. But I don't see either one of them taking the belt because they want it. They want this Truth story to go, which I would have much rather had Truth versus Priest, and Truth somehow figures out a way to beat him, and then he gets over. Or you just have Judgment Day against Awesome Truth in a non-title match somewhere on the card, and then you can still do this. But it's a ladder match. Priest and Finn need to get the tag belts off them. They need to go towards singles, whether against Gunther or whether it's against Seth or Drew. These two need, because Damien's got to get this Money in the Bank off of him. He's running out of time, and since Seth's gotten hurt his knee, the Money in the Bank hasn't even been blinked at for anything. You need to get Damien's momentum back up for this, and so you got to get these tag belts off of Damien and get him built back up as a threat for the world title with this briefcase. Finn's just kind of floundering, and we need Finn to get back to being Finn. Getting these belts off of them is what's going to do that. But I'm afraid if Awesome Truth wins, then we're still going to just get Judgment Day feuding for the tag belts, which is the exact opposite I want to happen. Now, if we go to a different team like DIY or New Day or whatever, it's an easy way to break them off and start them on new stuff. And New Catch Republic or Waller and Theory winning, that gets the belts to SmackDown. If New Day wins, they can move to SmackDown. They're not tied to anything on Raw, so it'd be easier to transition them over there. So, like I said, want and who will win, two different scenarios. So where are your thoughts?
I feel you there. No, I'm still. I'll stick with the two faces, but I definitely see Waller and Grayson being. Right, to say the same thing. Waller in Theory.
I'm sorry. A-Town Down Under is their team name.
Hey, there you go. A-Town Down Under, because I could see it definitely being a face and a heel. I'll still stick with DIY and R-Truth and Miz. I'd love to see DIY get a run. I know, those always been kind of Triple H's boys. Now's the time. And again, R-Truth has been kind of set up for that. I agree, get the titles off Judgment Day. So, yeah, this could go a couple different ways, though. But, yeah, that's where I'm leaning towards.
Bottom line, the match is going to be enjoyable because all these guys can work.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll put together a fun ladder match, crazy. So how many people is that?
12 people.
Yeah. Pretty big, man, because Money in the Banks are usually at the biggest Money in the Banks, 10? So this is even more than that.
Yeah, this is going to be it's going to be nuts. And I hope so. And this will probably, let's be honest, this is probably going to open the show. This is probably going to be the opening match.
I don't know. You think so?
I don't know. Which one do you think is going to be the opening match? Do you think Rhea and Becky's going to open the show? I feel like they want to get the ladder match. The crowd started off hot with the ladder match.
Maybe. I just don't know if you start off with a crazy. Well, maybe because the last match. I don't know.
Usually the Money in the Bank matches are either the first or second match on the show.
Well, that's also a different comparison, just in the sense of there's two of them, so you kind of need to spread them out. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm talking about when they were on Mania. They were usually the first or second match when the Bank matches were.
Good point.
So I would think even the Intercontinental Championship match when Bryan won and Ryder won, it was always like the first or second match.
I'd say it'll get people hot. So that tracks.
Next, let's go to the Yeet No Yeet match: Jimmy versus Jey.
Match I knew would be happening for the last year.
Yeah, exactly. It's the match we knew was going to happen for 7 months, even though they tried to play it off like it wasn't going to happen. It's like, come on, guys, can we just?
It was the same thing. As soon as they got drafted to different shows, I'm like, oh, okay, you're saving until Mania. Cool, I get it. Same thing with
the only thing they could have done is broken Jimmy. It kept Jimmy away from Bloodline because he really hasn't done much since joining back up Bloodline. And you could have added Solo in this and made a 3-way brawl thing. You could have done that, but
no, you keep it with the brothers. No,
I know. I just once again Solo is a brother. What are you talking about?
the two brothers that we've been seeing on TV for the past decade plus. That's the story.
I feel bad that Solo's just going to spend all night, all WrestleMania weekend.
I do agree because he kind of did the exact same shit last year, and he really
hasn't. Solo to be used. That's all.
He had the nice big Cena win that didn't really mean anything in the end, but
also,
I think now that Roman's about to drop, I'm just saying real quick. I'm just saying now that Roman's about to hopefully drop, I think Solo's finally going to maybe start doing shit on his own. Hopefully.
Little side note back to the tag team match. Why the fuck was Imperium not involved? They didn't even get an opportunity. It's not like they had a match and they lost. Speaking of how us winning Pretty Deadly, why wasn't Ludwig Kaiser given a shot? Now if they were in it and they lost, okay. They didn't even give an opportunity. What the fuck?
Maybe because they'll at least get to come out with Gunther for the entrance, so they got him in a moment.
These guys have been doing great the past year. Let them work. Let them work. And yes, they're going to come out with Gunther, and I'm going to love it. But I still want them to work.
I have a weird nitpick. How come for the tag title match on Raw, didn't you only need one match to qualify, but on SmackDown
you had to have a whole fucking tournament?
What?
Yeah.
I felt lopsided.
a little bit, and SmackDown only got 2 teams, and Raw got 4.
I felt like they got to SmackDown and we're like, oh, we gotta milk this shit. Oops.
Once again, do an even split of 3. Why does Raw get 4 teams?
Should have been tournaments. I just thought it was weird that Raw was
I agree,
lopsided and one match, and SmackDown was lopsided and a tournament.
I know. Like I said, logistically, it made no sense. But back to Jimmy and Jey.
Yeah.
If you made this a drinking game and you had to take a drink every time you super kicked, you'd be dead in this match alone.
Oh my god, we should do that. I'm gonna get some.
Okay? Oh no, let's do this. Okay, what's the over under? How many super kicks in the match?
Oh,
over under.
I'm gonna say under 15. A little bit more.
No, I was gonna say 10, but I was gonna say 10, but now that you said 15, it seems too low.
I feel like even the ending sequence could be like a 3-3 or like a 1-2-3, 1-2-3. That's 6 right there, just for the ending.
Okay. I'm gonna go over 17, and you're gonna go 15 and under. So 16 is the break point. We both lose if it's 16. So you're going 15 under. I'm going 17 over.
I'll give you 16 and over if you want. If there's no gap.
Okay. I'll take 16 and over. You take 15 and under. Just in this match.
Watch me 16 now.
Just this match alone.
Yeah.
Oh, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna make it more fun. I'm gonna have to click.
We are. So keep track. Someone will have to.
Yeah. Now here's the question.
I could literally see the first moves being a super kick in the last
instead of a chop off.
So I'm at 10 with that.
Instead of a chop off, it's just super kick.
Now I'm wanting to take 17 because if I'm at 10 just within the first minute and the last minute, anyway.
You want to take 17? And I'll take 18 and up.
No, that's fine.
I'll give you the 2. I'll give you the 2.
Okay.
You got 17. Watch it be like, well, that would be. I would respect them more if they were like, look, we're going to expect them to go out there. We're 2. We're doing 2.
Yeah.
That's it.
You get 1. I get 1. Yeah.
Let's show them that we can do more than just super kick each other. I would actually be like, brah, fuck no, guys. You showed everybody. Good job. But going into this, who do you have winning? Do you think Jay's just going to ride because they've been moving Jay, or do you think they're going to give the shock win for Jimmy?
I'll go with Jay. He's the one that was started off with I think more of a build. Even now, yeah, they could go the shock win. Like I feel like there's definitely like almost like a sneaky feeling they will, especially if maybe again jumping ahead, like okay, if maybe Roman does lose the title, do you still kind of save face a little bit with Jimmy getting it? You know what I mean? But I'll go with Jay.
Okay, here's two caveats. This is the match where you can actually make like prop bets. This is the fun prop bet match. Super kicks is we already made. The other one, does Rikishi show up, and does Solo interfere?
All right, you want to go first or second?
I think Solo will get involved because it's his brothers.
Yeah.
I do think Solo gets involved, and I do think Rikishi will show up. Because Rikishi's already been on Twitter about it.
Oh, has he? Has he?
Yeah. When they first announced this match, Rikishi posted something on Twitter. Not that he was going to be there or anything, because that's cheating. Yeah. But he posted about them fighting, like, was it this has to end, or this has, this is. He was like for it. He was like, this needs to happen, or this has to end. So I would feel like it would be a very, very big missed opportunity if Rikishi wasn't there. Like he doesn't have to be involved in the match; just have him be in the crowd. I'll take that. Just it feel weird if Rikishi just wasn't there for this. But what are your thoughts? You think yes on both as well, Solo and Rikishi?
Just to be different for funsies, I'll say yes to Solo. I'll say no to Rikishi just because like a Twitter thing is slightly different from TV. Like they don't even bring up the fact that like often that they're Rikishi's sons. Like I feel that's still a slightly.
I feel like they bring it up. I feel like they bring it up just the right amount.
I also here's my weird future fantasy booking.
Okay.
Because it might be Bloodline Rules on Sunday. I almost thought it'd be funny if like everybody fought Cody. Like Rikishi comes out, Tama Tonga comes out, Jacob Fatu
comes out.
Everybody, just like having like Jesus, it's all of Roman's cousins. Like everybody that is physically able to, like wheel out Sika. Even Sika fucking makes love, just everybody.
And just when you think Cody's gonna lose, he goes Super Saiyan and his hair gets stuck up, and he just starts beating the shit out of him.
Every time, just like like Jacob Fatu comes out, does something. Roman pins him too. Fucking
it's like that. Does something. It's like that. It's like that little GIF meme where that guy just starts going around smacking people, and you like kids, women, everything. And like Jay comes out there, he's like, "I'm here to help you," and Cody's like, "No, you're one of them too." Smack. Just get the fuck away from me. So you still have Jay winning this?
Yeah. I'll stick with the guy that's been kind of pushed as a single star. Yeah.
Just to go different, I'm going Jimmy. Why? Because I feel like they can get a lot more juice out of this feud. Because they've been separate,
I can see that.
I feel like there's still a lot they can build on this. And I think Backlash, they can add a stipulation to it, which maybe Rikishi shows up on that one and not at Mania. I feel like Jay's been kind of just every month going, "Hey, I'm here, let's do this." Jimmy beating him, I feel like will give Jay an oomph that he hasn't had since he feuded with Drew, and that fire. And with WrestleMania Backlash usually being a lot of times usually just rematches from Mania, give these guys another go.
Stipulation,
and add a stipulation to it. So I'm actually going to go with Jimmy for the upset because, like you said, we could be looking at a Bloodline, much like Damage Control, losing out the weekend. Why not have the one guy that has the least amount of respect be the one that actually fucking wins?
Yeah,
Jimmy.
No, I think that's a really good call to make as well because, and also Jimmy could use to win more because he has been kind of just the bitch boy.
I would literally watch it on Raw when Rock and all them were out there. At the end of them, like, are they really not going to let Jimmy talk? Fucking Solo got to talk. Jimmy was just out there.
No, he's been treated as the fucking orange-haired stepchild. So let the orange-haired stepchild get the win. I don't think it will hurt Jay.
It won't. It'll drive his character further because he had a moment and he's still the little bro, and now he needs to double down and have the blow off at Backlash, or they could push it another couple months. Who knows? But yeah, I feel like Jimmy winning is the right story move, and it gives time to establish Raw and let Jimmy and Jay get through this feud, and then once that feud ends, we see where the IC title is, we see where the world title is, and then we kind of go with where can we go with Jay from here. I feel like this shouldn't be a one-off. This needs to either be a 1, 2, or 2 to 3 match feud. Let's give them their opportunities, and then in a year or two, we'll put them back together again because they're brothers anyway. They're going to get back together. Going to the IC title, we got Gunther and Sami Zayn. Do you see Gunther losing, or do you see? I want to signify this though. I don't know if you've been paying attention, but on Saturday, I believe on Saturday night, his reign will be at 666 for days. Yeah, it'll be at 666. And I'm pretty sure they said on Monday he was at 661, which means on Saturday it'll be 666. Does Gunther
and this match is on 666. This match is on Saturday, rather.
It's on Saturday, so it'll be 666.
Honestly, because you said that, I could even see that being a reason as to why he wins. Because does WWE want to go down as Gunther being a 666 champion? I don't think they'd like that.
Let the German guy lose the belt on 666.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I honestly think that could be like a slight reason to no, let him keep it. I was gonna go with Gunther in general though, because again, it's that Booker of philosophy of okay, Sami winning will be cool, nice moment. We love Sami. I think this also could be this could be match of the weekend as well, possibly. If they have just a nice back and forth, 15-minute, Gunther, he won't die from Gunther kind of match. But it'd be cool, but at the same time, Sami got a big win last year. He got a title win in the main event last year. So it's not like he absolutely needs it. I think Gunther continuing the streak kind of intrigues me more. You know what I mean? And the fact that he says 666 makes me even more think that.
Yeah, I agree in everything that you said. Now, if it was Gunther against Gable,
I would have been more towards Gable.
Gable wins 100%.
Because that could set up Gable as a main eventer. Or as at least a top tier.
I think the underdog storyline with Sami is fine, but that's been his whole shtick, his whole career. I would much rather
underdog last year when he fought Roman.
Exactly. I was like, we've seen this before. This isn't anything new. Yeah. I did like the Rocky 3 shtick that him and Gable did on Raw.
It was good TV. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, this works for me. What more? Honestly, oh God. Okay, so this is me going on my own on my booking thing because I've been self-booking WrestleMania here anyway. What I would love is Gunther goes out there and basically Ivan Drago Sami beats the ever-living shit out of him. And I love Sami, guys. This is not me shitting on Sami. This is me figuring out the right story here for this. Gunther goes out, beats the shit out of Sami, dominates, wins the match, says he's the unbeatable champion, no one can stop him. Out comes Gable. Gunther, either with his ego, automatically gives him a shot right then and there, or the next night we get Gunther Gable, because Gunther's ego is so here. Gable's not a threat to him, and Gable gets the belt off of that because we ride off Gunther's ego. He either dominates Seth or he not Seth. He either dominates or injures Sami, and he's like, no one, seriously, there's no one here to beat me. Here comes Gable. I already beat you. I already made your girls cry. You're not a threat to me. But if you want to get injured like your fucking friend here, either right now go or I'll beat you tomorrow night. Because, like I said, there's one less match on Sunday than there is on Saturday, and Gable gets his moment. Gable gets his shiny moment because Sami doesn't need the moment. What?
Can I add to your thing?
Absolutely.
All of that, set it up though just to save Sami a little bit. Set it up to where Sami's shown backstage, knocked down, and they can be like, "Oh, Gunther or Ludwig must have attacked him." And then when Sami limps to the ring, Gunther squashes him, set up Chad, and then on Raw reveal it was Chad that attacked Sami, and then you can set up Chad and Sami.
Oh no, you can't turn Gable heel. You can't turn Gable heel.
Yes, you can.
Okay, hold on. I've got two. I got a version. I'm gonna double down. I got two versions. I got one doubling down on yours, and I've got another that I was thinking about when you say that. So my first one, have this turn into WrestleMania 9. Sammy loses.
Hogan wins?
The Hogan Bret Hart thing. Sammy loses.
No, I know. I'm saying, I thought you were going to say literally Hogan comes out and goes, let me tell you something.
Gable comes out and Sammy's like, go. And then you could start a feud with Sammy and Gable, which they should have done with Hogan and Bret, but they never did because neither one of them would lose to the other. Or your thing, someone takes out Sammy, Gunther wins. But who takes out Sammy? Jason Jordan. Because he's a guy in the back now. Alpha Academy. Come on. Or not Alpha Academy, but he's been there. He's there.
Yeah, where do you go with that? Jordan's not going to wrestle. Why are you going to have him?
He's the guy who made Gable the way he is. He's the mentor. He's the son of Kurt Angle. You have him be a part of Alpha. He can't wrestle, but you can have him be like a manager coach thing with Gable.
Good. I just don't know if he needs that. Chad needs
but he was already playing. But that's just a little icing on the cake. That's where like the people who have watched it as long as we have gone, oh, that's brilliant. Like that makes me happy. And it could be something that just dies off after like 2-3 weeks because Jason's in the back and Jason knows that Gable has earned this moment. So what does he do? He does Gable a solid. He takes Sammy out so Gable can get his moment. And Sammy can't do anything about it because Jason can't wrestle.
Exactly. That's why I like poor Sammy can't get it back.
He just has to feud with Gable because he can't do anything to Jason because Jason's neck's fucked. I like all this. I like all this. We just made this match more fun. Watch it just be a straight up match. Like I mean, it was good. It was good, but we made it so much better in our heads. So you have Gunther winning.
Oh yeah, Gunther.
Yeah, I got Gunther winning. I would love for the Gable thing to happen. I don't see it happening. I would fucking love it if they did that because I think Gable, we've been pleading for Gable to get his moment for years now.
I like the idea, even if it's a full-on like 15-minute match, give or take. I could still like the idea of Gunther being like, I'm so fucking good. Let's do it again tomorrow. You know what I mean? Who's available?
His ego is enough to do it.
Especially if you could chat the Andre thing, why not?
Exactly. Give Gable the chance. Watch him stay on SmackDown like they did with AEW with Luchasaurus. Oh yeah, the winner of this battle royal gets an automatic title shot at any time. And it's like, and then Gable's were like, wait, I've seen this happen already. Except he's not going to give the belt to Sami at the end like he did with Christian. Now to our main event. We got Seth and Cody, Roman and The Rock. Like we said at the beginning of the video, the build has been great for this match. More so than the world title match on night 2. Do we get Bloodline banned or do we get Bloodline rules?
Bloodline rules.
Well, because I am inclined to agree because it's okay. Well, first things first. Okay, Bloodline rules. So you have Roman and Rock winning. Who takes the pin, Cody or Seth?
Rock pins Cody.
Rock pins Cody.
Okay. That's a good question. That's actually a good question too.
Because that's the thing. That's the big problem with this match, because you've got Roman and Cody. They're both going for the main title the next night. Roman's not going to take the pin. So you're going to have Rock take the pin? No. Rock's not going to take the pin. Roman can't take the pin because then that puts a chink in his armor going into the main event. If Seth takes the pin, you could say that might lead into his loss to Drew the next night, or you have Cody take the pin, and then he has to overcome everything, and you build on
hard times, baby. Hard times.
The hard time storyline kind of thing. And to me, that's the logical move of this match, because then at Backlash, if Cody wins, you can maybe have Cody versus Rock. Or you have Cody versus Roman in a rematch. You could do that too. But the way they're building Cody and Rock, if Cody wins, you have to go Cody versus Rock, don't you? It makes sense. Because Roman can go away till SummerSlam or whatever because he lost. And because he even said, they said on Raw that Roman said if he loses to Cody, he's gone. He's going away, which obviously not for good. We know that. But if he loses, that means Roman's taking the summer off, and he'll come back around SummerSlam, which means that we got Rock there.
I predicted that even before he said that. Yeah.
What's that?
I predicted the fact that he'd probably disappear until at least SummerSlam, if not longer, after he loses.
But it's no different than when Brock loses. Like, he doesn't show up the next night on Raw. Exactly, he goes away. No, but logically, Seth taking a beating, fine. Seth taking the loss, that fucks with Drew and Seth the next night. Roman taking the loss, okay, it makes Roman look like he's beatable going into the night before. Okay, I guess you could go that route. Rock taking the loss, then, I mean, I guess you're going with the route that Cody took out the final boss. Now it's Seth and Roman, or it's Cody and Roman with no one. You could go that route. You can go that route. But then the other route you go with is, let's say Cody and Seth do lose. How do you make it make sense for Cody to beat Roman straight up with everything stacked against him? How do you make it make sense that Cody is able to overcome all these odds unless Rock turns on everybody at the end of it? Every match that we've discussed on night one, I feel like there's been a clear cut. This is what's going to happen. Here's where I got to go. This is the one match. There's too many variables. If Cody wins, it makes Roman look weak going into the night before. If he pins Roman, it definitely makes him look weak. If Rock takes the pin, you built up Rock as the final boss. Rock loses. It makes Rock look weak. You don't want Rock looking weak. But it makes it look like Cody got everyone taken out, and now he has Roman straight up. If Cody loses, it's the hard time storyline, which is what we've been building for the past fucking year and a half. But how do you make it make sense that he can take out Rock, Solo, Jimmy, all them? Because I'm sorry, if Seth loses to Drew on night 2, do you really think Seth's going to still go out there and try to help Cody? I mean, he might, but he's going to be banged up. Solo's going to be healthy. Jimmy's probably still going to be banged up from the night before. So how would you book this based off of those variables?
I think it's everything that you said. Just, unfortunately, maybe Cody has to learn from night 1. So, let's say maybe they do something on night 1 to where they kind of duplicate it on night 2, but this time he sees it coming, you know what I mean? And he's able to overcome the odds. Or maybe, you do the kind of thing where, maybe, I've always kind of teased before, like maybe this is where we start setting up, obviously, Rock and Roman too. Maybe do it where maybe Rock stops Solo from helping Roman, like, or maybe Roman gets in Rock's face, and Rock's like, "Oh, okay, fine. You don't want my help, fine," and he stops Solo, and now it's a real actual one-on-one match, for the last little bit. So, like you said, it's definitely interesting as to where they're going to go with it.
And you can even have Solo turn on Roman too, because there's been those little instances where you see Solo going, "Are you going to do something?" Because every time Roman seems a little weak, Solo looks like he's ready to jump.
You could have a simple miscommunication to where, like, you know what I mean? Solo goes to do something, hits Roman instead, and Roman fucking flips on him. And Solo goes, "Oh, okay, I've been your loyal servant the entire time. You're going to treat me like this." And he bounces. And now it's no longer, everybody versus Cody. It's just Cody versus Roman finally, And that match is a lot more intriguing, too, going back to night 1. If it is just a straight-up one-on-one match, that's not nearly as intriguing as the clusterfuck.
Yeah, but then you run the issue of Cody going Super Cena, which I know is a term that everyone uses, where he becomes everything to do this. But as a story, though, the way you put everything up, it's what makes the most logical sense.
Yeah. That's why I hesitated on like that, because he should overcome it. It's a good guy story. He got screwed last year. Now, hopefully, he's tougher, he's
And
smarter, and he overcomes.
You build night 2 up as there's no chance Cody's winning. There's no chance Cody can win this. And
I would even take Seth out completely. Like, I'd have Seth.
Yeah, you take Seth out completely.
He's in the back with his ribs taped, and he's there. They should even go backstage and go, this send him to the hospital. Like, Seth's not in good shape. You know what I mean?
Because at that point, the only other allies Cody has technically is Jey, and I guess Kevin and Sami. But Kevin's going to be wrestling that night, which that doesn't mean he's out. And then depending on what they do with Sami on night 1, Sami could be out. Those are the only other people who logically would make sense that could come to Cody's aid to help him out. Because Bloodline Rules didn't say that everyone else is barred from ringside. It just said that the Bloodline can do whatever the fuck they want. That doesn't mean that Kevin and Sami and Jey can't come out. Right now, they can make that a rule, and if they make that a rule, then okay, that is what it is. But I feel like there's no outcome that's a bad outcome. Actually, no, scratch that. The only bad outcome is if Seth pins one of them, because Seth doesn't need to pin either one of them. And I don't think Seth should take the loss either. I feel like it's got to be either Cody, Roman, or Rock that has to take the pin. It makes more sense that Cody takes the pin because he has to overcome everything the next night. Roman taking the pin weakens Roman going into night 2, which looks bad. Rock taking the pin makes the most sense on that side, but I still wouldn't want Rock to take the pin because, once again, final boss. But I'm so intrigued by this main event. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm
intrigued, and that's fun.
I'm so jazzed about this main event. Now going to night 2. Let's go with the one match that was just thrown together on SmackDown. 6-man tag, Philadelphia street fight, which, once again, I'm glad this got added. Because I was like, what if this is not going to get added? What the fuck's the point of this feud? We got Street Profits, Bobby Lashley, and you got Akam, Azar, and Karrion Kross. Thoughts?
I mean, it's thrown together, but it's not. I think they just had to kind of get past the whole the little SmackDown mini tag tournament.
They technically have been building this since Rumble.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. And I had only doubted it because, Mania spots are smaller, you know what I mean? So you're just never quite sure, because I wasn't sure if, like, Karrion Kross and AOP, are they important enough to get a Mania moment? I don't know. And this should be fun. Again, something a little different here. We got the crazy ladder match the night before, so now we got this. That will hopefully be some fun, table spots, maybe throwing a ladder again, who knows. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm going to go with, do they even have a name? Bobby Lashley and them?
They're not the Hurt Business, so I don't think they have a name.
I'm going to call them the Almighties instead of the Almighties. The Almighty Hurt Business Street Profits. So yeah, no, I'll go with them because I just think that's the hotter group. That's the people that, they kind of just turn, the more tweener, Thorne and Dawkins, give them a nice win. Lashley, I think, is potentially going to be higher on the card than Karrion, so that's what makes sense to me.
They're the more established because they've been around longer and everyone knows who the fuck they are.
Yeah, sure.
Much like Rhea and Becky on night 1, Final Testament need this win. Kross badly needs a victory, and Akam and Azar are a great tag team. But they haven't really got to do much since they've been back, except lose the Street Profits in a straight-up match. They need to be shown how vicious they are, how dominant of a tag team are, especially if the tag titles are coming to SmackDown. Final Testament need this win. If they lose this, then what the fuck was the point of this group? Whereas Street Profits and Lashley, they can start maybe breaking apart. They can start just being maybe acquaintances, but not necessarily.
But I feel like I could say the same with them, though. That group's not very well established either as a trio.
Exactly why they need.
And now you're going to break them up?
I'm not saying they have to. I'm not saying they have to be broken up. I'm just saying you can have Lashley go after the U.S. title. You can have Lashley go after be a number 1 contender, and then you can have the Profits go for the tag teams. They're just 2 teams kind of thrown. They're just 3 people kind of thrown together. Testament makes more sense because of how their characters are. With Ellering and Scarlett, I feel like they need to be more built up and established as a team, kind of like a House of Black kind of version. of WWE.
I don't know. I feel the same about both to a degree, to where I think they both kind of need this win, and they both could be kind of whatever if you wanted to. I don't know.
They both need the wins, but Street Profit and Lashley have been winning. That's the thing. So I feel like Cross
have they?
Authors.
Have they?
I mean, Street Profits beat Authors of Pain. Lashley got into the Chamber match, so they have been getting the wins. Cross and Authors have not been. So I feel like it's one of those matches where I don't really care either way, and that's not because I don't care about these guys in the ring. It's because they haven't done a good job of making me care about this feud. So I feel like at this point, who needs the W more? And it's Final Testament in my eyes. If Lashley and Profits win, okay, cool. But then what the fuck are we doing with Cross and Authors of Pain? You brought Authors of Pain back for this feud. You got to do something with them. What are you going to do? Give them a W. Give them a solid W at Mania. Build on that for maybe a tag title shot or something down, up here, in the next month or two. And I feel like that they need that more than Street Profits and Bobby Lashley do. But it's a toss up. But that's who I'm picking to win, and you're picking Lashley and Profits.
Yeah, I feel like they also need the win. They just kind of threw in BFAB, and I feel like the argument we made for both. I think the bigger stars are the Lashley and Profits, though, that have potential to grow.
They are the bigger stars, obviously. Honestly,
but they are. But at the same time, Lashley's in Chamber. Florida Dawkins have had tag titles, but neither one. Lashley was one of the first ones out, I feel, and Profits haven't touched those tag titles in a while. Honestly, this is their first kind of revamped where this could lead to them getting a night. Like if DIY goes to SmackDown, well, maybe not because of Ray. That would be a cool feud, but
honestly, if in a perfect world for me right now, which is going to feel, I don't mean this in a bad way, so I don't want to take it this way. Street Profits lose. Montez goes singles and goes for the U.S. title. Montez desperately needs to start pushing for singles. And it's not that Dawkins is bad. Dawkins is not a bad wrestler. But Montez has the same ability that Bianca has. He has this charisma. He has this ability to be rocketed to the moon. And he's not doing much as a tag team anymore. Montez needs to start breaking away and going towards singles. And what better way than to get him to break off from this after this loss and go maybe if let's say Logan Paul keeps the belt, start a feud with Logan Paul. Because I'm sorry, Montez and Logan Paul, that'd be a great match. So in a perfect world, Montez breaks off and goes singles after this.
You got me there again. Not knocking on Dawkins, but because of a Florida guy, sometimes I got spoiled with seeing these people kind of from day one. I saw one of Montez Ford's probably first 10 matches, and right away I was like, this dude's got charisma. This dude knows how to carry himself. You know what I mean? Like he's got something.
He's got the reality TV show right now too, so he's got.
Yeah, and obviously they know he's a star. In that case too, like they're not just giving a show like that to anybody. So I do feel like he's easily somebody that, even in the last year or two, let alone the next year or two, could be an IC U.S. champion. I like the idea of him and Logan Paul. My thing is just, why did we fucking bother with this group then if we're about to break them up?
Well, like I said, that's what tells me how much I don't feel like they thought this group out, because they made them heels, and then as soon as it wasn't working, Street Profits came back out to their old music. They were faces again, and I was like, wow, you just really abandoned this kind of
the initial concept. Yeah,
exactly.
Very quickly too.
Which makes me wonder why we need this team to win, because you abandoned the whole storyline you were going with, where it's Final Testament. I feel like you've established what they're doing. That's why I feel like that they need to win more than what Street Profits. Honestly, I wouldn't even be mad at a Bobby Lashley Dawkins tag team. I feel like that would be a powerhouse team right there. Let those two go team up. Lashley's getting older. Not that he's missing a step or anything by that, but that'd be a really good tag team right there with those two. And let Montez go off and be the next Ricochet, but actually get pushed better on SmackDown. Next match. On paper or picture, I would love to watch these guys wrestle. I don't think the story we've been getting is great, and that is LA Knight and AJ Styles.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. The story isn't hitting with me. Has it been hitting with you at all? Because I feel like I'm missing something with this story.
No, you're definitely not alone in there is something missing here. I mean, I'm for it just because this is kind of the epitome of it's Mania time. These are two big stars. We need something. All right, let's start quickly having a feud. You know what I mean? For at Chamber, the week before Chamber, and since then. So I'm not exactly like emotionally that invested. I think it'll be a good match, and hopefully, like again, whether this leads to LA Knight and Logan Paul, or even AJ could use a nice win too. This is one that I'm a little 50-50 on to a degree, where if this led to AJ taking on whoever for something too, but um, I'm at least good with the match because like it does. Unfortunately, at the end of the day, not everyone's going to have the best booked most important match, and this is just where these two are at the moment. At least they got a nice solid singles match.
Can we also talk about how AJ seems to be just getting bigger and bigger and bigger? Like that one video when LA went to his house, AJ's arms. It's like, dude, you're looking massive, bro. Like he's just looking big, and the LA Knight just always looks huge. But yeah, I'm just not. I mean, I'm excited because I love LA Knight and I love AJ Styles, but I feel like they've just done a real piss poor job of making me care, and that's because I felt like they've never been. It's like they're never on the same show at the same time. Either AJ's there, LA's not there. LA's there, but AJ's not there. So they haven't. It's like they've been having to. It's almost like back when it was like COVID, and one of them has to stay home because of health reasons. So they've been having to do everything via or TV satellite feud. Like they've been doing everything they can to just not have this feud in the arena at shows. So it feels like there's just that disconnect because very rarely are they ever in the same place at the same time to have this feud. And that's why it doesn't feel like anything in this. And honestly, that's a disservice to both these guys. Yes, they're going to go out there. They're both going to have a great match. But this match is much like Final Testament and Street Profits and Bobby Lashley. You haven't really done a good job making me care. I like the people in the match, but the emotional weight of this match is zero for me. But you have LA Knight winning this.
I'm torn on it, but because like again, I feel this is one where we could have a little bit more fun, and LA Knight could get a big win later. But sure, I said give him this big win now. Could use it maybe a little bit more. So I'm a little torn, but I'll say LA Knight.
I think in terms of who needs the win, LA Knight probably needs the win, but his popularity is so hot that he could take the loss. I feel once again, booking wise, I feel like Cody, if Cody beats Roman, Cody moves to SmackDown, obviously. And if I'm booking this, once again, he's going to wrestle Rock at Backlash. But AJ wins this feud. AJ, to me, becomes the number one heel contender. And Cody's first legitimate defense of this title is against AJ Styles. Give AJ a nice, real big world title feud. Because the only other feud I can see for Cody outside of Bloodline is Orton or Kevin, but you got to turn one of them heel because you don't want to do a face-face feud. And that's it. Who's your other outside of the Bloodline? Who's your other heel that can go for the title? It's AJ. So AJ's been eating a ton of losses lately. I think AJ needs this win more than LA does. So I'm actually going to go for LA, or not LA. I'm going to go for AJ on this win with the mindset that if Cody wins, he's the first big feud out of the Bloodline. And then you can have LA and AJ probably have a blow-off stipulation match at Backlash. And you may even give LA Knight the win here, and then AJ wins at Backlash. But I feel like AJ is the one that will give Cody his first real feud as champion on SmackDown, unless they bring someone else in or move someone from Raw over, like Gunther, for example. I feel like that's the feud that makes sense.
No, that tracks. That's why kind of trying to myself think like ahead of like where these two could go, and yeah, that's all plausible for me. So that's why I do feel you could go either way depending on. This is kind of like I wish, not wish, but like if you, I wish I knew in the Booker's mindset because I think this very much just depends on where you want to go with these two kind of thing, you know.
Mm-hmm. Like, so that's what I was trying to think of. Was like, what make this make sense? Where are we going down the road? Because if you're just throwing matches to throw matches, it's WrestleMania. What's the point? You already have matches like that. You got that with Final Testament and Street Profits, but you can build off of this. How can we build off these characters? They're good enough to make it to a Mania card. You got to have something to build towards. And I feel like with AJ, you got to build. He doesn't have much left. And I'm not saying he's running down either, but AJ even says he doesn't want to wrestle very much longer. So give him one real good title feud again. I'm not saying put the belt on him because Cody's done the work. Cody deserves to have a lengthy title reign. Let's let AJ have another kick-ass world title feud. And I feel like either he loses this match and wins the rematch at Backlash, or he wins this match and maybe feuds with Kevin or somebody, and he gets another big win, and then that leads to him to going to Cody. Assuming that Rock and Cody are the inevitable rematch at Backlash or Roman. Because you're going to have Cody probably have to do that at Mania. So he's going to be locked up through April. And so you got to get set something up for May for Cody from there if Cody wins the belt. Next, let's go ahead and go to the U.S. title match. Kevin, Randy, Logan Paul. What are your thoughts?
This is another one where, it initially gutly I go, Logan Paul. And I'm like, well, Randy Orton couldn't have a nice little first big win in a while, too. Kind of got him back. I could see them maybe sending them up even with a rematch down the line. So I'm torn, but again, kind of thinking of, heels and faces and who's winning other things. Honestly, I'm going to stay with it. I'm going to say Randy Orton takes it. I'm going to try to go a little bit of dark horse here.
I would love if Randy won. I don't think Randy needs the U.S. title, and I don't think Kevin needs the U.S. title. I feel like Logan needs another big W to solidify his character. So I feel like Logan is going to find some way to win this, and then LA Knight is the next feud for Logan Paul. I think that's what everyone thought it was going to be. I feel like everyone was feeling like it was going to be Logan Paul, LA Knight at Mania, but then we went these different routes. This is a feud that I feel like Kevin is still dealing with Waller and Theory in a way, and Randy's just kind of okay. He punched me at Chamber, so I want to beat his ass. But I don't think Kevin or Randy winning the belt does anything to boost their character. Logan, he literally just won the belt right in December. He's only really had one actual title defense. I feel like Logan needs another big W, and beating Kevin Owens and Randy Orton is that big W that he needs. And then after that, his next feud, which could be LA Knight, you can have maybe Logan lose it there, or you can keep going. But I just don't see a legit reason, unless you're just putting the belt on Randy because it's Randy. I don't see Kevin winning this at all. It's either going to be Randy or it's either going to be Logan, but I just don't see a reason to put the belt on Randy Orton. I just don't. So yeah, I think it's 100% going to stay on Logan Paul and build from there. Either way, the match is going to be fun.
That's a safe bet.
What's that?
No, I think that's definitely the safe bet. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, just building future storylines. I don't know where they're going to go with Kevin and Randy from here, though, and that's the real question mark. I don't know what to do with them. Randy going over to going over to Raw and feuding with Drew, hell yeah. Or Kevin feuding with Drew, hell yeah. Or Randy turning heel and feuding with Cody, I'd be down for that too. Or Kevin turning heel and going against Cody, I'm down for that too. But with both of them being faces and Cody potentially becoming a face champion, I don't see where this goes. Now, if Roman keeps the belt, then Randy versus Roman, 100%. That's the next feud that you go with. That makes sense. But yeah, this is the one match I feel like is the easiest pick for this. Like, it's the one that makes the most sense. Randy or Kevin winning, I feel like just doesn't make logical sense at all to do that. But going to the women's title, we got Iyo, we got Bayley. To me, I feel like this is also probably the easiest outcome of the night as well. I personally don't see any way Bayley loses this match. Iyo has done a little bit more than Rhea, but not by a lot. And especially with the people that she has on SmackDown. She's got a ton of phenomenal ladies on SmackDown, but her title reign just kind of, and I love Iyo, but her title reign has just kind of felt like, oh yeah, she is champion, isn't she? I guess I forgot. And Bayley is Bayley. And Bayley has been kind of the one that's been eating losses for years. We need Bayley to be back to being, I'm not saying she's going to go out there with the hug me thing again or anything like that. Bayley has matured past that point. But I just don't see any way Bayley loses this match. Do you?
The only thing that like hesitates me is, I think WWE sometimes likes to not be predictable. So I'm like, ooh, do they throw us a curveball in this one just to do it and make her chasing longer? But no, my official prediction will be Bayley here. I think, like you've said, Iyo has also kind of had like just an okay title run. But I think she's less hot than Rhea, to where I definitely could see them having kind of no problem taking it off of her. She can get it down the line if they ever get back to it, but I don't see her losing the title as big of a thing as Rhea losing a title. And I think the feel good moment, kind of similar to Cody, is I think the better story, finish the story, is Bayley. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's not really much to say about this match. Like, and that's nothing against Iyo and Bayley. They're gonna go out there and they're gonna kill it. But their story, we predicted their story like months before it happened. So when it happened, we're like, yeah, thank you for catching up. We've had this thing planned out since like September. When Asuka and Kyrie came back into play, it was like, oh yeah, they're obviously gonna turn on Bayley. So it's just like it took them forever to finally do it. And then once they did do it, it's not like it's really been like oh wow, I can't wait to watch this match. Outside of just liking them wrestling each other, the story hasn't really, I think, hit as hard as I think they were hoping it to hit. And it could be because Bayley did such a good job of just getting everyone to fucking hate her that it's maybe getting harder for people to cheer Bayley again because she's done such a good job of being a heel. And with Iyo, once again, Iyo not being able to really be much of a voice box, you have to rely on Dakota and everyone else.
That's the problem here. I don't think it's Bayley's fault. I think if Bayley had I think like Dakota, for instance, was the champion, I think he could have had better promos back and forth and whatnot and everything. I think Iyo is missing something when it comes to feuds like this, and that's the perfect example.
Yeah. All right, going to the World Heavyweight Championship match, we got Seth and Drew. Obviously, I won't be mad if Seth wins, but I 1,000% want and need to see Drew win this belt. Drew deserves his moment. Drew has been, in my opinion, one of the highlights of WWE in the last few months. The only reason I can see them not giving it to Drew is because his fucking contract, because he hasn't signed on long term yet. And WWE, well, look, we're not gonna put a belt on you if you're gonna fucking leave. But I can also see them go, well, Drew, we're gonna give you the belt, sign the fucking contract. But the question is Seth losing? Do they get Seth off TV to let Seth properly heal, or is Seth just going to keep running into the dirt until Seth can't go anymore? Or do you think Seth actually is going to continue to win? Where are your thoughts?
No, exactly what you said. I wanted Drew to win the last time he fought for the title because I like Seth, but like again, I don't think losing the title is going to hurt him in the least. He's easily one of those guys to where he can get it back, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, or even a year or two from now, whenever the story seems fit. So her losing is not going to hurt Seth. Drew is fantastic. I've wanted him to have that crowd moment that he's never gotten. And I wanted it back a few months ago. I really want it even more now because he's done so good in making me care these last couple of weeks and liking him on a different level here. I think him having fun with Punk, with Rollins, has shown an even different side of Drew that I'm a big fan of. As you said, there's a contract thing here. Yeah, if Drew was dead set on like, hey guys, I'm not signing it, yeah, that could stop them from Seth. And the other thing to think, keeping your back in the mind and everyone's back in the mind, is Priest. If Drew's on the way out, have Drew, and him have a nice classic, banger. Seth ekes it out. Bam. Priest cashes in because if that's the night before too. So
it's either that or you give Drew his moment and Priest cashes in and pulls a Seth. You can do that too. I don't want that to happen. I
don't see that happening just based on I think the heat of Seth being the ultimate. I did it again. I won, and he's a face. He's the face. So I think Priest cashing in would make more sense on the face Seth than the bad guy that we kind of like.
Let's sidetrack this just a little bit. Do you see Damian cashing in? Does he win the belt or does he not win the belt?
I mean, if it's something like Mania, yeah, win the belt, or else that's going to be super embarrassing.
I'm talking about just in general. Whether it's Mania or whether it's right before Money in the Bank, regardless, Drew cashes in. Does Drew win the belt? I'm sorry, Damian. Does Damian actually win the belt or not?
I'd say yes. I think every time, give me an example of somebody failing to cash in that has bounced back that wasn't already a champion. So not Cena.
I was like,
I think because again, he didn't need to cash in and win because he already had it 12 times or whatever. I'm thinking of Corbin. I'm thinking of Sandow. I'm thinking of it. Kind of fucks you.
Theory.
Otis never even got to do it because he lost it to Miz.
So Mr. Kennedy. He never
Kennedy. Yeah. Well, that was another weird injury thing, but he didn't really lose. Well, I guess he did lose briefcase storyline wise, but yeah. So I'm just thinking like if you have any, unless they've cooled on Damian, where like last year they're like let's give him the title, and now a year later they're like maybe not for whatever reason. If you have zero interest in Damian, then yeah, have him lose. But if you have any faith that he can be something, have him win. Even give him a Ziggler-like run. Have him win at least be champ for a month or two.
Yeah, but Ziggler lost the belt because he got a concussion. Like
true, but I'm just mad at timeline-wise.
Yeah,
I'd at least give it to him and test the waters of a Damian as champion kind of thing. Otherwise, he loses. You're not bouncing back, man. Nobody has so far that I can think of.
The worst case scenario that I see in my head is that our Awesome Truth win the tag titles, and Damian is so fucking infuriating that he cashes in on the tag belts, which will be stupid as shit. But because it's our truth, I almost feel like Drew's character would do that, but it'd be so fucking dumb. But I can totally see that happening at the same time.
I don't, and I hope not, because again,
I don't want that to happen, but I can totally see that writing happening because at the point he's like, Damian's a fucking idiot. Here's why I don't think he'll win, because in my mind, here is the booking for the next year, and clock this now, April 4th. This is the booking for the next year. Drew beats Seth. Seth will get a rematch. Drew will win. Maybe Priest cashes in and it's a triple threat. Drew still wins. Drew holds the belt till Punk gets back. Punk and Drew feud. Punk wins the belt. Seth wins Rumble. Punk, Seth, Mania. That belt is gonna stay in that 3-car lane all the way through. That is where I see this happening.
I see that as quite possible, sure.
And then Gunther moves to SmackDown and feuds with Cody. I feel like that if you're not going to do anything Roman, because you move Roman and Rock to Mania next year, and Gunther goes against Cody for the belt at next year's Mania. That is my long-term booking. A year from now, I got Cody Gunther world title match, and I've got Seth Punk and Roman Rock. Those are the 3 big main events going into next year's Mania for 41. Because that's what they wanted to do this year, minus Gunther. But injuries happened, so you know what? We're just going to fucking move it along a year, which sucks for a lot of people that probably were ready to have their big pushes. Well, you got that stuff through the year, but I don't see the belt coming off Cody in this next year unless it's an injury. And if your name is not Seth, Drew, or CM Punk, I don't see that belt going on anyone else's. I don't see Drew winning it. And if it is, it'll be something like you said. It'll be a flash in the pan, fluke win, and he's going to lose it right back to one of the 3 all the way through. You could have Drew. You could have Damian cash in on Drew and win, and then you could have Punk come back and beat Damian and win the belt back, and then that leads to Drew and Punk feuding. But eventually, the end game is going to be Rollins versus Punk at Mania 41. But I feel like Drew deserves the win here at Mania 40. Drew deserves this. Drew has been killing it. So has Seth, but Seth's had the belt for over 300 days.
Seth's had a fantastic reign. He's defended the belt all the time. Has had good matches. Yeah, but I'm happy
he's hurting. He's hurting. He needs the rest. Drew Drew deserves this. And they got Clash of the Castle coming up again. And is it May? Is it May? I think they announced it. They're going back to Glasgow. Have Drew go in there and be champion. And you know what? Put him against Sheamus. Sheamus comes back. Give him the title shot. Let Sheamus and Drew go out there and kill it in front of everyone at Clash of the Castle. Because Sheamus is still just kind of hanging out back here. Everyone's forgetting about Sheamus. I haven't forgot about Sheamus. Let those two go out there and fucking kill it. That's what I would book. Because Drew's a heel now, so it makes sense for a face Sheamus to show up. The Brawling Brutes is dead because Pete Dunne's off with Tyler Bate. Fucking Ridge Holland is retired. So it would make sense for Sheamus to pop up on Raw and have that be that first feud after Seth. Night after Mania, Sheamus shows up. Drew's hurt, or Seth's hurt. Seth's gone, healing. Sheamus shows up on the Raw after, and that's the next feud. That's how I would book it. And then you have them build up to Clash, which I think is in May, and go from there. Obviously, our main event, we've been talking about it throughout the night. Yeah, who is it? Do you see an idea where Roman actually does keep the belt and they keep the streak going?
I almost don't want to even say yes. Like,
you don't want to put it out there. You don't want to put it out there.
No, like if I say the word Voldemort or Beetlejuice and he appears, like I don't want to say it because like kind of because that'd be great heat and you want to get to a certain number, but like fucking no, Cody, no, stop it, just stop it, like Cody.
There was because my whole brain was like, Bloodline is dying. It's not as hot as it once was. It's not working the way it is. Then Rock came back, and now the Bloodline is getting. Now, granted, it's mostly Rock, but watching Raw and watching how the crowd, like Rock went out there, he got everyone all tied up, and then Roman's music hit, and those fans were all fucking losing their shit for Roman. And it's like, damn, you know what? As much as people want to bitch and complain about Roman being champion so long, he's still getting the biggest, one of the biggest fucking pops. So you can claim you're tired of Roman being champ. Roman's still going out there and getting the same crowd noise and everything. The crowd hasn't turned on Roman yet. They're still throwing up the ones. They're still cheering when he comes out. They still cheer when he does the acknowledge me. If they were tired of him, they would have stopped. Do I want to see Roman win? No. I think we need to move on. I think SmackDown needs new life. I think Cody can be that new life. I think we need new feuds. But do I see them watching something like how Brooklyn was at Raw with Roman and go, we can probably still squeeze a little more out of this? I don't want that. I don't want it, but I can see it happening. It's like 75-25 for me right now.
If it happens, now it's all your fault.
But you know what? We were saying the same shit last year. And
I'm sorry. I will stick by the fact that they fucked up last year. Last year should have been Cody. It should have been the end of Roman. I think Cody versus Brock would have been fun. I think, you know what I mean? Cody and other people could have had a lot of fun. This year, could have just jumped to Rock versus Roman. Like, they milked it longer than they should have. They really did. I think they left. I still think they did the wrong thing last year.
It was more or less because I think they really just wanted to do Roman and Jey. And they're like, well, it won't hit as hard if Roman's not champ. You know, but I mean, if Roman wins Roman's not losing the belt till he beats San Martino. I'm calling it right now. If Roman wins, you might as well just be comfortable with Roman keeping the belt for another 3 years. Because at this point, unless they just want him to beat Hogan. But to beat Hogan, he has to make it past SummerSlam, which at that point, you're not going to have him lose it at Survivor Series. You're not going to have him lose it at Rumble. And at that point, we're now at 41, and he's champion still. So it's one of those things, if he does not lose Sunday, you might as well just be okay with him being champion again for another year.
It's okay. Like, as much as I think they made a wrong decision last year, I'm still okay with it because I've enjoyed the build to this year, and The Rock has added a new element. Next year, I can't see myself being like, oh, cool, Roman versus so and so. Like, even if it is The Rock, you don't want to see Roman and Rock for the title. Like,
no, because Roman's winning. Because Rock's not going to win the belt.
Rock doesn't need the title.
Exactly, he doesn't need the title. But if Roman wins, you're not going to have him lose the belt at Backlash. You're not going to have him lose it at SummerSlam because he won't pass Hogan then. So if Roman wins, guys, get used to another year of the bloodline. They found a way to rejuvenate the bloodline because of Rock. Well, you know what? Rock's got to go shoot movies. He isn't going to be around all year long. He's got too much shit to do. He can stick around probably till May, but he's eventually got to start going back and being Dwayne Johnson. But if Roman wins, we're going to be talking about this again a year from now. Roman against Cody or Seth or somebody else. Punk, maybe, who knows? But I don't. Oh God, the balls on WWE if they pull that off. The balls on them.
Just the tears.
The balls on them. It will be. If Vince was still there, totally. It'd be probably like 55-45 because I can see Vince go, fuck them. With Triple H and them in charge, I don't see it happening.
Paul, my faith is in you, Paul. Please.
Yeah, so it's like I said, like you almost feel like, oh, it's 100% locked in. Cody's winning. But we thought that last year, and here we are a year later, and we're about to say the same thing again. Fool me once, fool me twice. At that point, we might as well just keep throwing up the ones because he ain't dropping it anytime soon. But who knows? We'll see what happens. Obviously, you want Cody to win. I want Cody to win. Yes. We both think Cody will win.
I apologize to the Wise fan, but yes, I think Roman.
The door is ajar. The door is ajar that Roman could end up leaving Mania still champion. That'll be a very fun conversation when we come back again to talk about that. Which we will be back again here next week. We'll probably wait until, we'll be back for next week. We're going to talk about the WrestleMania of it all. And then obviously the Raw after Mania, SmackDown.
We'll talk about post Raw.
We're obviously going to be back, guys. Clearly, we're going to talk about the aftermath of this, all the matches that we just talked about, what our thoughts were, what we liked, disliked. Obviously, Raw after Mania, SmackDown after Mania. Obviously, those are going to be big shows. At least we hope. We'll see exactly where they go from here. But we hope you guys enjoyed this conversation. If you guys did, hit that like, share, and subscribe button to the channel so you guys stay up to date with all the latest videos pop up on the Wrestling Crusaders and the Movie Crusaders. And, of course, you have to follow us on all the social media outlets you see below. What are your guys' thoughts? Who do you guys think is going to win? Is there going to be any surprises that you think is going to happen on Mania, or do you think it's going to be the Raw after Mania? Who do you think is going to show up?
Matt Cardona.
Yep, yes. Jordan is hopeful that Matt Cardona is going to show up 2 weeks after he pops up on AEW, that he will pop up on Raw. I don't think that's going to happen. I would not be mad if that happened, but I don't see it happening. Honestly, another little prop thing I had is our Awesome Truth win the tag belts first night on Raw. They're like, let's defend the belts, and here comes Baron Corbin and Braun Breaker, who have been killing it as a tag team on on NXT, and they come in, they bulldoze through them and put the belts on them. Because I'm actually okay with seeing Baron Corbin come back if he's with Braun Breaker, even though Braun Breaker's on SmackDown. You could do it on SmackDown too. I would be okay seeing that because I actually like Braun. I actually like Baron Corbin.
Truth and Miz could grab the SmackDown tag titles. Yeah,
you could do that too. Yeah, and go from there. So that's another little
cool with that
thing that I have in my head. But we still have to discuss this. But we are going to be doing this fantasy wrestling draft.
Yes,
we are waiting until after the Raw, after Mania, and the SmackDown after Mania, just in case some NXT call-ups or some non-WWE guys. We don't, Matt Cardona, because we don't want to do the draft and go, well, fuck, if I knew Elijah, or fucking A. I said his name wrong. Say his name, please.
Ilya Dragunov.
Dragunov. If I knew Dragunov was going to show up, I would have drafted him. So we're going to wait until the Raw after SmackDown, or the Raw and SmackDown after WrestleMania. We're going to do the fantasy draft. We will do it on camera here with you. We'll go over all our rules, how we're going to judge this stuff. We're excited to do it. It's going to be fun. We definitely are doing WWE. We're still deciding if we want to do AEW or if we just want to test WWE first and then add AEW, or we might just do both at the same time. We're still discussing it. But irregardless, we're going to be back next week to talk about the results of this show. So we hope you guys tune in and come back. Let us know what you guys thought of WrestleMania as well. But until next time, we are the Wrestling Crusaders. I'm Sean Waskroot. That is Jordan JPO Owens. Until next time, in case we don't see you, don't try this at home unless it's on your little brother. Don't tell mom. It's okay. It's just a leg. It'll grow back.
So, goodbye. And good night. Bang!